There you go. Try that. There we go.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So I guess with Brianna Stewart, obviously the talk was that she would be reevaluated kind of prior to the playoffs or before your playoff game starts. Take me through the timeline of that.
Of her reevaluation this week, the timeline.
Yeah, and like if would you try to get her to practice before Sunday's game? Is she doing rehab currently, or is it more just resting, or how does that, I guess the
Mhm.
whole thing?
Right. Yeah, she's been rehabbing since last week. And for us, I think the reevaluation and ability to decide if she's able to play Sunday would lead up to the game. So Friday, Saturday, if she was capable to have her then to kind of work through practice and see where she is. So prior to Friday, she's on track with her rehab and just kind of taking it day to day to see what the progression will be. Maybe we'll hear something. We have Thursday off, so maybe we'll hear something before then or after then. But probably Friday is that target date for us.
Okay. And then, I think Jordan only had the 2 points in the last game, but I thought just her presence back made a pretty big difference. I guess just talk about that, having her back.
Yeah, I agree with you. Having a player that has been through a lot of experience with our team, and in big games such as that one, her energy level and her effort was there. So defensively, in my mind, I think about how she's picking up Petty full court at some point. And then just her pace, it just impacts us in a way that, though she wasn't shooting the ball well or didn't have a lot of points, I thought she was still present. And that's the thing, like when she's on the floor, when they're playing our entire team, you don't just want to be on the floor and running up and down. You want to have a presence about you. And I thought that Jordan showed that and was very poised in everything that she did. So especially on the defensive end, especially a team like Phoenix who has offensive firepower, I thought that that was going to be crucial for us to have Jordan on the floor with that energy.
Definitely. And then with kind of the mystery, there's three teams that you can play. You don't know which one right now.
Mhm.
Do you do like film study on all three of them, or do you kind of mostly focus on you guys for now, and then once it gets, to when who's going to be, then you kind of dive in?
I think you have to focus on us. We have to focus on us. And I think, there is too many scenarios and a lot of teams that you would have to prepare for if you try to prepare today. And so what we can do, use this time wisely in the sense that we can just kind of fine tune, our offense and our defense and understanding. There are strategic ways to study the other opponent, whether it's incorporating, defending their plays or whatever. We'll see different schemes of what we may see, incorporate that into our drills or whatnot, and not specifically honing in on one team, but understanding what we'll see in different facets of the game. I think that's one way to approach it, but I think the biggest thing is just focusing on us and our energy, our effort, and our strategy.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
No problem.
Thanks, Chef. Let's go to Percy. Percy Allen, go ahead.
Awesome. Hey, Coach, I apologize. I came here a bit
You're
late.
You're late again.
And I got to run laps.
I'm finding you. It's money.
Oh, geez. Well, I ain't got no money, so I'll be happy to run laps. Hey, I'm assuming that that you touched on Brianna Stewart earlier, and I caught maybe the tail end of it. Just what's the update with her? Has she been able to return to practice yet?
Not returned to practice yet. I think I was just telling Jeff the reevaluation of, or actually the progression is to see by Friday kind of how she looks. And for us, we'd like to see, what she can do in a practice setting before she would play in a game. So up until this point, she has just been rehabbing. And I think the focus is just to kind of continue to see where she progresses daily. But we'll have a day off Thursday, and so kind of seeing where we are after that day off, and kind of go from there with Stewie.
It does having some history with this, maybe not particularly with this specific injury because but just knowing that she went through something like this last year, does that help this time around?
Help her specifically? I'm pretty sure it does. With any injuries that you've had, I think there's a mental space that you have to kind of be in to understand what your approach has to be. And we all know Stewie is mentally tough in all aspects of everything in her life. And I think, obviously having to go through this at this point is different. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. In 2020, you're talking about having some time away. Yeah. And it was actually right before playoffs. You're right. And so absolutely, there's a mental capacity or mental aspect to going through something at this particular time of the year. But also just understanding your body and knowing your body and getting it to where it needs to be. She knows how she needs to feel to be able to perform, how we know that she can perform. So there is some strategy in that and understanding the heart space, the mind space, the physical space you have to be in. And for Stewie, I think going through that last year, probably some experience that she can kind of revert back to and figuring the situation out.
Hey, and the past 2 or 3 weeks, you guys have been saying that it's not necessarily what your record is, but how you're playing heading into this postseason deal here. So just from your perspective, how are you playing? How do you feel about where you're playing? And just that.
I honestly wish, and I'm not gonna. I the way that we played on Sunday, I wish we can bottle that up. Is kind of what I was trying to say. Like I was gonna say, I wish we could play tomorrow, but I don't really wish that. I wish that we can kind of utilize that energy, that effort that we played with Sunday, and just kind of package it and to have it in our next game. I like the effort, and win or lose, however that game was going to end up. I just, our energy was there, our effort was there. We were, getting deflections. We were on point with our schemes. And then the biggest thing, I felt like we were enjoying ourselves. And I think when we play like that, we're able to hit shots and we're able to get shot stops. I think we're a very, very good team. And if Joel has to score 40, I would love that too. But I think, aside from that, her defense was great. So there were aspects of, what we did that was very impactful and I liked. And I thought we were playing at a very high level. So just want to bottle that up again.
I hear. And just like this last one from me here, just I'm just gonna imagine that the film study from like that last game was fun to watch in terms of just maybe dissecting what Joe Lloyd was doing. After another review, after sort of watching that game, because obviously we talked to you immediately afterwards, but do you have a greater appreciation of kind of what she did during that game? And if so, what was it specifically that maybe jumped out to you?
I have a greater appreciation for it, and I'm going to be honest, because nobody is understanding what she was doing on the other end of the floor as well. And if you look back at that quarter, it's the 22 points, but did you see what she was doing on the defensive end, getting into Skylar, getting deflections, getting leak outs, and just her attentiveness to detail? I was super impressed with how she balanced it. And obviously the shots, I've seen Jewel make and take tough shots for her entire career. But that zone that she was in, like on both sides of the floor, was what was most impressive to me.
You think she'll get any votes for all defensive team?
She better. She'll get my vote if I could vote. I'm not sure because the numbers aren't like up there as far as like on paper, but the eye test, in my opinion, and we talk about this all the time. Statistics are, analytics, yes, they're a big part of our game, but our last, I don't even know how many games, Percy, she was on players and prevented them from scoring, was very consistent in our defensive effort. And I think that that's something that should be taken into account when thinking about all defensive teams. So I hope she gets a vote.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Thanks, Percy. Let's go to Mark Woods. Mark, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Carly
Hi.
Samuelson's obviously bounced around a little bit within the WNBA, but what you've seen of her, where is the ideal role for someone with her skill set? And as someone who's obviously played international ball back in the day herself, how much do you value that experience of having played in kind of crunch situations with national teams when you're looking at someone who might be towards the end of your bench, but you could be a factor in a playoff situation?
Yeah, you said Carly, right? I'm making
Yes.
sure. Yeah, I mean, just the competitive edge that she has. Obviously, like you're alluding to, being in international play and being in big games. That's good information to have and knowledge to have. But whether it's your mental approach, but physically, just being able to compete at a high level, the ability to knock down open shots, knock down threes specifically, I think is a skill set that would helps us in particular to stretch the floor. But the other aspect of Carly's game is she's a very smart player, and you can put her in various situations, and she'll excel because of that. And so that experience that she's gotten within that international play is obviously important when you think about postseason play in this league, and your mental physical approach that you have to take on a daily basis.
Thank you.
No problem.
I think that's it for us with Coach.
See you.
We'll bring in Katie Lou and Carly here in just a moment. Please stand by. All right, and we are back with Katie and Carly here. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions. If you have a question, hit that hand raise button and we'll go ahead and call on you and get things started. Mark, why don't you kick us off here? Go ahead.
Hi, both. Good evening. I was wondering, Carly, if you could talk about, the experience of getting to play with your sister. Obviously, it's not the first time, but is it something kind of special, and how much of an innate understanding do you guys have?
Yeah, like you said, I've played with her in Spain, but it's super special. We never really expected to play on the same team in the WNBA, but I know her game. Like, I know what she can do on the court. I've seen her get MVP of the finals in Spain, and yeah, I think we have a great chemistry. Like, I mean, off the court, obviously we get to hang out, spend a lot of time together, but on the court, or whether I'm on the bench and talking to her, like, we know, we have each other's best interests at heart, and we've seen each other do our best. So I think it's just like a confidence and comfortability thing.
If I can ask you, obviously both your parents played sports at a high level. I was wondering how much memories your mom as well as your dad has kind of shared about their sporting times.
Yeah, they're very, especially our dad is very, doesn't like to talk about it as much. He's kind of like super humble about it, because I didn't hear many stories from him about him playing, but then people that he grew up with, or his former coaches ended up talking to us one time, and like they used to tell me, at least, that he was super good and like doing crazy things, was a really good player. So it's funny to hear from like other people that my dad was really good. And our mom, she shared with us, but she's a netball player, so she didn't necessarily
She played both, a little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. When we were little, she would play in like an adult league, and so we would
she would
hang
bring
out
the
at the
strollers,
gym.
and we would be in the bleachers, and she would play, which that was fun. Definitely doesn't play anymore, but that was fun to watch.
Is that, and Carly, when obviously you've both played for different national teams. Has it been kind of nice for your folks that it's obviously Bonnie kind of was in the fringe of it, but you split the difference. So have they both been able to enjoy it? Both representing each other's country in a way and kind of getting something that's, I don't know, patriotic pride in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously they're super proud of Lou. Basically made an Olympic team. And then for me, my mom was super proud when I first started playing with Great Britain. And it was actually, she came to watch me play, and it was her first time going back home in 23 years.
Wow.
So like that was really special to see. And I got to see actually where she met my dad, and I kind of went up in Northern England, Sunderland, and where she's from. And I had never seen that. So me playing for the national team like got us that opportunity. And I think it's really special for her to watch.
That's what made Lou. When you've seen her playing for GB, how kind of weird is that an experience, or to see your sister out there in the national team? Because it might have been a point where you guys might have played against one another. It still could have happened. What's your experience been like of watching her?
It's been cool. It's been really, really awesome to see her do so well, and I just know that she loves playing with her team and the girls on the team, and so it's been fun to follow that journey and follow that along with her as she's been doing it, because it's cool to be involved. I feel like I'm like involved in like the Euro basket, and like I understand what's going on there, even though the US team is not involved and stuff like that. So I feel like I know more about basketball and just everything that's going on. It's been fun to follow her journey.
Thank you.
I'll hop in right here, and let's get questions here from Jeff Brown as well. Jeff, go ahead.
So with all that discussion, I was kind of curious, when you guys were like growing up and really young, like how influential was basketball? Like, was it something that you guys was very heavy in the family already? Did you were you playing other sports as well? And then like, did you guys just as like kids basically kind of become obsessed with basketball?
Yeah, we played soccer, we played a little bit of baseball, we danced. So we got a wide variety, but our older sister Bonnie, I think she ended up liking basketball the most, and we're a really, really tight-knit family. Like, and I think it's because we all ended up playing the same sport and we're near the same age. But yeah, we're basketball through and through. After Bonnie decided on basketball, we kind of followed, and I'm sure my parents were both happy about that.
And then for both of you, I guess what's the biggest highlight? We're at kind of the end of the regular season now, so kind of what's the biggest highlight for you this year?
This year, I mean, well, it's a big highlight when she joined the team, so that was fun. But this year's been, for us, we've all had a lot of, I feel like, ups and downs trying to navigate things. But at the end of the day, I'm excited to get to play in playoffs. We didn't make playoffs last year for me specifically, and so this will be fun to kind of play such a, like, it's a single elimination game, such a high stakes game, and so it's going to be a lot of energy, a lot of fun.
And for you, Carly?
Yeah, I mean, the highlight for me, it was very unexpected, was getting signed by Seattle for rest of season. But I think another highlight was getting picked up by LA and getting to hang on to, my injury hardship contract that I was on for as long as I did. And I just think it gave me an opportunity to play in this league. And it's hard to make this league, and I've had quite the journey. And so I'm really grateful for like the opportunities that I've gotten with the Sparks and now with Seattle like this season.
And then, so obviously, I feel like the Phoenix game versus that LA game, really stark differences. About you guys played exceptionally well against Phoenix. Had a very poor performance against LA. I guess what were the big differences, and how do you make sure that you kind of match that energy and everything with the Phoenix game in this single elimination playoff game?
Yeah, I think it helps when Jewel scores 22 points in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but I think just understanding that no matter what, we can't ever lack energy or effort at times. I think we were all disappointed with the LA game and kind of needed to bounce back. And I feel like we're on a good track. We feel good as a team. So
The energy was good.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Let's go.
I heard half of that, so I'm just going to assume that's me. This question is for Lou. Hey, as a rookie, you played sparingly in the playoffs there. Just as you approach the postseason now with a larger role, just your thoughts are what?
I'm excited. I think that this is a opportunity for me to help and help us win and get to as far as we can, starting with Sunday's game. And like you said, I've played limited minutes my rookie year, and then last year we weren't even in the playoffs. So I'm excited to just kind of get the opportunity and go out there and give it your all. The season's coming to an end here, so it's pretty crazy. Feels like it went super fast, but I think we're just all excited, and I'm especially excited just to get this chance.
Hey, and obviously you have some experience with this type of do or die scenario, playing overseas, playing in college, but now the WNBA and just this league, just how do you think this weekend will be just for you personally? Is it, do like things amp up, is it more, or is it just the same game?
I mean, there's definitely going to be nerves. Anyone that hasn't been in that situation tries to tell themselves there's not going to be nerves, it's not going to work out. So knowing that there's going to be kind of a heightened adrenaline too, but using that to my advantage to just play as hard as I possibly can and leave it all out there, because there's nothing guaranteed after that. Like, this is one game and we have to take care of business. So knowing that putting all that energy, nerves, whatever it is, into my effort in the game is what's really important.
Do you think that personally for like you, that you're in a good place in kind of your role here? Obviously this is your first year with this team, and in your career, you've scored more points, more minutes, you played more games. I mean, this is obviously a career year for you, but yet there's been some up and downs in terms of this season. Just so as you sort of head into all of this, are you feeling like really comfortable as to kind of where you are right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just focusing on what I can do to help the team every single game, and whether it's up or down or whatever my role needs to be that game, I'm trying to be locked in and ready to go with whatever I need to provide for our team to get a win.
Sounds great. All right, Lou. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks, Percy. We'll go right back to Jeff Brown. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, Lou, is there a better hype man than Carly? Because I see after all your big plays, she's always hyping you up and on Twitter and stuff.
No, there's no one better. No one better than Carly.
Awesome.
Sorry, I actually wanted to hop in on the last question. I just think watching Lou over this season, I think it's inspiring to see her bounce back from what she went through getting COVID and with the Olympics. And I just think this season as a whole has been different, and with the whole Olympic break, but it's been good to see her, get minutes and do as well as she has with what happened to her. But yes, I'm Team Lou. I'm her biggest supporter. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, we got about 2 more minutes or so we'll go back to Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Just in talking about the Olympics there, Carly, having, I'm sure, taken a little bit of interest in the 3-on-3 tournament, and obviously you'll be aware there's a little bit of a push to qualify GB for Paris. Is that something that, particularly with your skill set, would interest you, and do you kind of welcome that there might be more than one option to play in an Olympics?
Yeah, I think 3-on-3, one, it looks exhausting, but two, it looks really fun. It's a totally different game, and watching you play, it's been yeah, it's a totally different game. But yeah, I'm interested in it. I think it would be fun to try.
What did you pick up from actually viewing it? Because for a lot of people, the Olympics was the first time they've had a proper look at international competition. I mean, what do you think the GB roster with people like Temi who are out playing it at the moment? I mean, how do you see that group might fare?
I mean, Temi is perfect for 3-on-3. Like, she's got the skill set, the height, the speed, the stamina, just the pace of 3-on-3. I mean, and to be like smart and strategic with it is what I noticed, and the physicality. My goodness.
That's great. Have you signed for Europe for the forthcoming season?
Yeah, we're playing in Salamanca with Avenida again.
About that. Cool. Thank you. Good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everybody. We appreciate you joining us, and thanks Katie, Lou, and Carly for joining us. And we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.